Across the world of Azeroth, there are dozens of factions one can encounter, each with their own power, territory, and goals. At the start of the game, players align themselves with one of two major factions, the Alliance or the Horde, but also discover various groups of enemies, allies, spies, traitors, and many others as they level up. This nuance rewards those who think deeply about the lore and ponder what's really going on even in the safest of lands, and it's one of the reasons why classic WoW is so fascinating to me. Today, we venture to the new homeland of the rugged Horde, where a plot to spread demonic influence is taking hold even within the heart of their new civilization. Let's uncover the hidden enemies of the new Horde, one of the most intricate and important quest lines for young adventurers in Durotar. As always, thank you for the fun comments and support, and with all that being said, let's get right into it. In your first few moments as a fresh orc character in Classic WoW, you are greeted with a bit of history as well as a call to action that sums up your motivation as you set out into this desert landscape, preventing the return of demonic forces. Here's a bit from the intro cinematic.
Under Thrall's rule, the orcs freed themselves from the chains of demonic corruption and embraced their shamanistic heritage. After years of wandering, the orcs founded their own kingdom in the harsh wastelands of Durotar. Based in the warrior city of Orgrimmar, they stand ready to destroy all who would challenge their supremacy. As a proud defender of Durotar, it is your duty to crush your enemies, both seen and unseen. For the nefarious agents of the Burning Legion still wander the land.
Once again, props to the late Earl Bowen for the awesome narration. There's something both resolute and wary in the exposition here, and as you set out to make a name for yourself in this landscape, you'll want to be on the lookout for pockets of demonic influence, holdovers from when the orcs were pawns of the Burning Legion. The Valley of Trials is the starting point for your journey, a weathered dust bowl teeming with boars, scorpids, and lazy peons in need of motivation. As you progress through the first few levels, you may encounter Zaretha Fargaze, a guide of sorts who advises new adventurers here in the valley. She informs you that, to the north, a tainted power is growing, a dark coven of the Burning Blade, cultists clinging to forbidden magic. The original Burning Blade clan of orcs has a lengthy history, but the version we see now on Azeroth is merely a group of fanatics trying to bring dark powers back to the world. After poking around the mouth of the cave and dealing with some mischievous imps, Zaretha sends you into the coven to retrieve the object of power responsible for the corruption, the Burning Blade Medallion. This is a pattern we will see again in the future. Cultists imbuing focusing objects for their rituals. The medallion is held by the warlock Yarog Baneshadow in the back of the cave. He's the one responsible for unleashing the imps and fellhounds, but luckily it doesn't take much to subdue this summoner and retrieve the artifact. Zaretha is satisfied with the progress you've shown here in the valley, but fears it may be a symptom of a larger threat. She sends you next to Senjin Village, where Master Gadrin greets you, expressing his tribe's own need for support as new enemies emerge. Your report comes at a bad time. The Burning Blade is not seen here in Senjin, but their evil has taken seed off the coast, on the Echo Isles. The orcs are friends of the Darkspear trolls. Honorable friends. We want to help the orcs, but we need help too. I find this dialogue very interesting because it's one of the only hints we have that Zalazane, Tyrant of the Echo Isles, may be connected with the Burning Blade cultists. The only other clue we get is him being referred to as a warlock in one quest description, which differs from most other descriptions of him being more of a witch doctor or shaman. While this could just be a writing oversight, accepting this at face value establishes that the foes of the orcs and trolls are not so different, and liberating the Echo Isles a few levels from now closes off one more avenue for dark energy to spread in this zone. In the meantime though, Gadrin sends you on to the town of Razor Hill, where he believes you can be more useful to the Horde. Orgnil Solskar, a warrior who seeks out sources of evil in Durotar, gives you his latest lead. While you might take some time off to address the other issues plaguing the townsfolk, such as the barbaric Quillboar or encroaching harpies, it's only a matter of time before you follow up with the main story. A new Burning Blade encampment has been located nearby. Deep within the canyons of Thunder Ridge, Fizzle Darkstorm, a goblin warlock, plots here with his allies, and continues to summon more demons. The fanatics defend their shrine fiercely, but if you're patient and careful, the warlock eventually falls, and you can bring his mangled claw back to Orgnil for a reward. While this quest might happen as you approach level 10, there is still much to be done here in Durotar to thwart the efforts of the Burning Blade. Margaz, an orcish shaman, is scouting out a cultist base at Skull Rock in the north, and is your next contact on this adventure. He asks you to collect the searing collars worn by the initiates there, cursed talismans used to burn flesh and attune the wearer to demonic power. This first journey into Skull Rock will probably not take you very deep, but we'll be back again soon enough. Margaz is not experienced enough to unlock the power of the collars, but he knows one who can, the warlock Niru Fireblade within Orgrimmar, though he seems a bit hesitant to trust him. Although he is a skilled warlock, he professes to use his powers to thwart demons, and claims his research in the occult is benign. Be that true or false, we may need his aid against the demonic cult in Durotar. This reflects a broader attitude the orcs now have toward warlocks and shadow magic users in their society. They are tolerated, but often shunned on suspicion of working with dark intentions. With this cryptic bit of knowledge and proof of the Burning Blade's encroachment, it's time to travel to the warrior city and seek out answers, but not everything may be as it seems. The great gates of Orgrimmar pass overhead as you enter into the city, a symbol of savage endurance molded into the desert canyons. But here, in the deeper levels of the city away from the sun, is your destination, the Cleft of Shadow. Here, warlocks practice shadow magic, allegedly for good, but the grunts patrolling nearby indicate these sorcerers are on a short leash. An entrance to the Ragefire Chasm can be found nearby, a molten crack in the earth leading far below the mountains of Durotar. Niru Fireblade is a denizen of the Cleft, and he is more than eager to help you eradicate the cult in the name of the Horde. He explains the entire Burning Blade faction worships an unholy artifact called the Demon Seed, found within their sacred coven in the Barrens to the west. He tasks you with destroying this Demon Seed, instructing you to first meet with his assistant at the far watch post before the final mission. Here, Niru's assistant has this to say. Niru wants the Demon Seed destroyed, does he? Strange. Very well. If he wishes the seed gone, then I will tell you how to remove it. This is the first concrete hint that something more might be going on. Why would there be such hesitation about destroying this item of dark power? Keep that in the back of your mind for later. As you make your way west to Dreadmist Peak, the sky turns dark and is choked with ash. Something unnatural is definitely going on. Near the summit, more Burning Blade cultists can be found, and you might spot the rare Felguard Rathorian protecting the Demon Seed within the small cave. This is the most powerful demon you've encountered thus far, indicating the fanatics here have reached new levels of corruption. After fighting into the Coven, you can use a flawed power stone to disrupt the seed, destroying both its energy and connection to other Burning Legion sources. The assistant offers you this mysterious conclusion when you return. You have destroyed the Demon Seed as Niru bid, but this is not the end. The destruction of the Demon Seed sent waves of power through the ether, waves of staggering force. I felt them, and I'm sure other beings did as well. Others who will wonder why their toy was broken. This is the last step in the quest chain, and you're now free to depart for Durotar, the Crossroads, or another questing destination. However, this is far from the complete story that is told regarding Niru and the Burning Blade. Many players, especially in vanilla WoW, may have just accepted this as the climax of the main story, but with just a little more exploration, there is so much more to discover. Deep within Orgrimmar, in Grommash Hold, the war chief Thrall sits upon his throne, managing the many aspects of leading the new Horde. Most players won't visit here until well into their leveling journey, but for those curious or maybe those following a questing guide, this becomes an extremely important spot. Starting at level 9, Thrall will offer a quest simply titled Hidden Enemies, and asks you to retrieve a lieutenant's insignia from one of the orcs deep within Skull Rock. One thing I will not tolerate are traitors in our midst, but I would be a fool to play my hand so early. It would not sufficiently cut the corruption out of our lands, and only cause the infection to grow worse. But you, a young adventurer, could go places my agents could not, could learn the truth, could find the true head of the beast. Thrall recognizes the worth of the new adventurers coming out of the Valley of Trials, and now it's time to put them to the test. Venturing back to Skull Rock, you'll eventually retrieve the symbol, and you might run into a few other obstacles as well, which I'll discuss in a moment. Returning to Thrall, he reveals the true reason you collected this trinket from the cultists. There is a warlock within the city who believes he has my trust. He does not know I realize where his true loyalties lie. He is in fact the leader of the Burning Blade. But do not rush off to do battle with him. He has a purpose, and we shall use him against our enemies. Take this insignia to him. See if he believes you are one of his own. This is the crux of what the story here in Durotar has been building toward. Not only is the Burning Blade establishing itself throughout the zone, but it is also seeping into the ranks of the city itself. Stepping back into the Cleft of Shadow, it is revealed your target is none other than Niru Fireblade, who just helped you destroy the demon seed coveted by his own followers. This recontextualizes a lot of the quest line we just went over. Niru has to play both sides, cultivating his dark influence in Durotar while still presenting results to the war chief that he's eradicating the demon threat. There are two more points I should mention about Niru's facade before we move on to the reveal. The first is the quest Niru offers to all players just outside the entrance to Ragefire Chasm. The primary task set upon me by our great war chief is to root out the creatures responsible for infesting our lord's great city with demonic influence. The Burning Blade is one threat, but there are others, the Searing Blade for instance, who make their home in Ragefire Chasm. If they are to be stopped, then their leader must be slain, a Felguard named Taragamon the Hungerer. He surely must be the leader of the Searing Blade in Ragefire Chasm. While Taragamon is considered the final boss of the instance in Classic WoW, there are other masterminds behind him who are the true threats. Yet another example of Niru supporting the Horde while holding back his true intentions. Retrieving Taragamon's heart may also have some sort of occult benefit Niru can use for himself. During your adventure inside Skull Rock, you might have also encountered Gazuz, leader of the Burning Blade there. From him, you can acquire a transponder called the Eye of Burning Shadow, where an unnamed cultist tries to communicate with him. Gazuz, report. There is word of your discovery in Skull Rock. You must prepare for an attack. Gazuz, I order you to speak. Speak, or I will make sure Niru Fireblade knows of your presence, and he will descend on you with swift brutality. Gazuz, are you there? We can't say who is speaking into this artifact, or why Niru would be especially upset with Gazuz in this scenario. Is he trying to wrest control of this coven away from Niru? Is this insubordination for not responding quick enough? There are a couple unknowns here, but regardless, taking the item to Niru puts him in an uncomfortable position. The voice you heard mentioned my name. I am known for hunting down enemies of our war chief, but it is strange that I was singled out. I must study and ponder the meaning of its message. With what we know now, this is an obvious attempt to distract from his own involvement in the cult, but it's still interesting to look at and think about the deeper levels of politics that might be going on. With all that established, let's return to the masquerade. You subtly show the insignia to Niru, and he recognizes you as a member of the Burning Blade. I won't describe the entire conversation here, but you can read it at the link in the description. Essentially, Niru admits to being the hidden leader of the Burning Blade, using Thrall's trainees to remove threats to his own power and maintain his credibility to the war chief. From this, we can surmise that the Demon Seed mission from earlier was a part of this plan, removing a coven that was perhaps growing dangerously out of control while letting others flourish out of view. In this conversation, he even reveals the true leaders of the Searing Blade cult hiding in the caverns below, Bazalon and Jirgosh the Invoker. He wants to keep these two around, in case someday they prove themselves as valuable additions to his cult. You return to Thrall with these names in mind, and confirm that your cover wasn't blown. Using this knowledge of what's really going on beneath the city, Thrall sends you and your allies on a full purge of the chasm, slaying the cultists and chaotic creatures dwelling there. Niru's proving ground gone in a misguided attempt to play both sides of the game. The Searing Blade, little more than cave-dwelling summoners, are wiped out, and now Niru must look elsewhere to grow his shadowy empire. When you return to him once more in your disguised persona, Niru is unhappy with the turn of events, but doesn't suspect your involvement. My time spent on the Searing Blade may be all but wasted now, but that does not mean that the Shadow Council's schemes elsewhere must suffer. I will have my agents in the Barrens and Ashenvale begin work on our newest agenda. Return to me soon. This incursion, along with all the other related quests, has been a major blow to the Burning Blade efforts in Durotar, and several pieces of the network have been hampered or cut off entirely. Thrall is pleased, offering you a nice weapon upgrade and promising to call upon you if future issues arise, though this is the official end of the Burning Blade or Hidden Enemies story within Classic WoW. Sure, there are a few cult influences in the Barrens and in Ashenvale, but nothing quite connects in the same way the early quests do. For now, you'll have to leave Orgrimmar feeling satisfied that you've done all you can, and you have the knowledge to stay watchful for shadowy forces in neighboring zones. I played through this storyline for the first time just a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed how it incorporated a lot of elements from the early game and told a complete story, even if it doesn't extend past the starting zones. As for what's next, the Crossroads and the Port of Ratchet are always looking for more workers, or you might consider traveling to Tirisfal via Zeppelin for a whole other type of adventure. Wherever you end up as a growing asset to the Horde, it's worth taking a look back at where it all started, defeating a demonic cult that threatened your new homeland. Thank you all so much for watching, and there are many more adventures soon to come. This video kicks off the Season of Wandering Wilds, another set of connected theories and adventures with a couple hidden secrets to be found. So good luck. Until next time, may the Force be with you.